Watch it back. I'm not sure if we're going to love that we were small. Maybe we should have stayed big and get a little more pressure on the inside. But analytics during the game showed us that we were better small, so we did it.
Did you hear what Cheryl Reeve said about Caitlin Clark after their recent showdown? Reeve was confident before the game, but Caitlin's performance left her almost speechless. Clark's been on fire, handing out humble pie to every critic this season. So, what exactly did Reeve reveal about the WNBA's newest star that has everyone talking?
I told him I thought defensively we played, again, mostly well enough to win.
Cheryl Reeve's comments before the game against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever? Man, she didn't hold back at all. Reeve was pretty confident, almost dismissive, talking about how the Lynx would handle the Fever, and she even took a shot at Clark's fan base. She said something like, "I give two shits about people cheering for the other side." Can you believe that? I knew right then it was going to be an intense game. The general sentiment before the game was that it would be a tough battle, but with Reeve's bold statements, the stakes seemed even higher. People were buzzing, expecting Caitlin to bring her A game and prove a point. And boy, did Caitlin Clark deliver. The game was a roller coaster from the start. Indiana's defense was shaky at times, but Clark kept the momentum going. Kelsey Mitchell was on fire too, draining threes from the corners like it was nothing. But it was in the fourth quarter that Caitlin woke up and showed everyone why she's been the talk of the season. She was like a machine, hitting clutch shots and making plays that amazed everyone. Every time she touched the ball, the crowd went wild, even the home crowd in Minnesota. It was clear that Clark had taken Reeve's comments to heart and was determined to serve up some humble pie.
In the fourth quarter, things just kind of went awry.
Offensively, yeah.
What did you see there?
The turning point came late in the fourth quarter. Indiana was down, and things were looking grim. But then, Caitlin Clark took over. She hit a couple of crucial shots that changed the entire vibe of the game. You could see the confidence just oozing out of her. It was like she took a shot of espresso and went into overdrive. The Lynx couldn't keep up. Reeve's expression on the sideline said it all. She knew they were in trouble. Those final minutes were electric, with Clark leading the Fever to a stunning comeback. By the end, it was clear who the star of the show was. Caitlin had turned the tide, not just for the game, but perhaps for the entire season.
We don't really know else what we could do action-wise. We need feedback, right? So get a little more pressure in the paint, a little more pressure on the rim. I thought Dorica had some good moments in the second half.
So, before the game even started, Cheryl Reeve was making some pretty bold comments. She was confident, almost to the point of being dismissive about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Reeve said she didn't care about people cheering for the other side, which was a clear dig at Clark's growing fan base. It was like she was daring Clark to bring her best game. These comments set the stage for an intense matchup. Everyone knew that Clark had been on fire all season, dishing out humble pie to every team that underestimated her. With Reeve's bold statements, it felt like the game had an extra edge, a personal challenge laid down for Clark. Man, you should have seen Reeve's demeanor after the game. The confident, almost cocky attitude she had before tip-off was nowhere to be found. She looked like someone who had just had a harsh reality check. Her body language was completely different. Slow, almost defeated. When she spoke to the media, you could tell she was struggling to process the loss. Reeve acknowledged that Caitlin Clark had put on a show and that the Fever had outplayed them in the crucial moments. It was like watching someone eat their own words. She admitted that their defense had held up for most of the game, but their offense just couldn't keep up with Clark's relentless scoring in the fourth quarter. In the press conference, Reeve had a lot to say, and it was clear she was trying to make sense of what happened. She started by giving credit where it was due, recognizing that Clark and the Fever had brought an impressive game. Reeve even compared Clark's impact on the league to the arrival of legendary players like Bird and Magic. She talked about how the league needs to capitalize on these moments and the buzz that players like Clark generate. It was a significant admission, highlighting just how much respect Clark had earned through her performance. Reeve also went into the specifics of the game, pointing out how their offensive struggles put immense pressure on their defense. She mentioned a couple of key moments, like Kelsey Mitchell's three-pointer that shifted the game's momentum and how their defense faltered in critical situations. Reeve was candid about the team's mistakes and acknowledged that they needed to improve. It was a stark contrast to her pre-game confidence, showing just how much Clark's performance had shaken her. Caitlin Clark's performance is in detail because she was nothing short of spectacular in that game against the Minnesota Lynx. Clark finished the game with impressive stats, racking up points with a mix of long-range shots, mid-range jumpers, and aggressive drives to the basket. She wasn't just scoring, though. She was also dishing out assists and grabbing rebounds, showing her all-around game. In the fourth quarter, when the game was on the line, Clark took over. She hit crucial shots, including a couple of deep threes that completely deflated the Lynx's defense. It was like she had an answer for every challenge thrown her way. What's amazing about Caitlin Clark is how she has been delivering humble pie all season long. Every time someone doubts her or talks smack, she steps up and proves them wrong. Critics said she wouldn't be able to perform at the same level in the WNBA, but here she is, making her mark and then some. Her confidence and composure under pressure are incredible, especially for someone so new to the league. She's been a game changer, not just for her team, but for the entire league. The fan reaction to Caitlin Clark has been nothing short of electric. Every time she touched the ball in that game against the Lynx, the crowd went wild. And this was an away game. It was incredible to see how much support she had, even in Minnesota. The atmosphere in the stadium was buzzing with energy, and you could feel the excitement and anticipation every time she made a move. It's clear that fans love her style of play, her fearless approach, her ability to hit big shots, and her knack for making highlight reel plays. The support from the fans added to the game's dynamic, making it even more intense and thrilling. Caitlin Clark's performance is having a huge impact on the WNBA. She's not just a rising star, she's quickly becoming one of the faces of the league. Her ability to draw crowds and generate excitement is reminiscent of how legends like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson did for the NBA. Clark is bringing a new level of attention and enthusiasm to the WNBA, which is great for the league's growth and popularity. The way she plays with such skill, confidence, and flair is setting a new standard and inspiring younger players. It's not just about her performances, but how she's elevating the entire game. The league is starting to see more sellouts and higher viewership numbers, and a lot of that can be attributed to the excitement Caitlin Clark brings. She's creating moments that fans will remember for a long time, and that's the kind of impact that can help the WNBA reach new heights. This win is huge for the team's standings and morale. Beating a strong team like the Minnesota Lynx on their home turf is no small feat. It's the kind of win that boosts confidence and shows that the Fever can compete with the best. This victory could be a turning point in their season, potentially propelling them into a more favorable position as they push towards the playoffs. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.